Hi y'all, welcome to my shop. I thought I'd do a wrap up on the chess series that I just finished with. If any of you are inspired to make a chess set, I'd be delighted if you'd send me a picture and I'll be happy to post it on a future video. I know many times I'll watch a video and I won't take time to review all the posted comments or questions that are asked. And maybe some of you are the same way, but in this case I thought I'd go through all the questions and consolidate the questions and comments to see if there's not something from the chess set series that we can both learn from. And I so much appreciate your questions. Frequently it'll cause me to think about the way that I'm doing something and think about if there's not a better way or a safer way to do it. One of my viewers, Joseph Rossler, asked, how come one of your white squares is full of dots? Well, I wasn't sure anybody was going to be able to see it. I completely finished that square with pyrography before noticing it had a dark square on two sides. I just had to laugh at my intensity on detail without noticing the big picture. Sanding could not completely rid all of the pyrography I did on the wrong square without going through the plywood veneer. Mark Fisher from the Ukraine wondered about my technique of cutting the crenellations on the rook prior to turning it, and wondered if it just didn't interfere with getting a nice clean cut. I found my technique seemed to work best for me by cutting them in advance, because I could control those cuts, and at the 2,000 or so RPM I didn't have any problems with cutting air on those four little gaps as it spun around. But I'd have to say there's no quote best way to do it, so find the way that works for you. But I had a very difficult time getting those cuts started with a saw, and I attempted that a couple of different times with a couple of different saws, and I would get some tear out or scratching, and it just wasn't working for me. Terry Ellis said he thought he would make some sanding sticks to get that nice clean edge, and suggested putting some adhesive self-spray on some thin plywood. And I think that's an excellent idea, Terry, that I'll have to try. In a pinch, you can also use these emery boards that I got from my wife. They've got a fine grit on one side and a less fine grit on the other, and you can get a package of them for about $1 at the dollar store. Another technique I've heard about in the past, I haven't tried it yet, but I think I will based on Terry's suggestion, is if you have ready access to some veneer, a little spray adhesive on the veneer, and it gives you some flexibility with your sanding when you glue that sandpaper on there. Scott at Adds Woodturning said he wasn't quite ready to part with the money for the U-Butte Triple E. And I'd say U-Butte Triple E is certainly not a necessity. It works really well on small objects, but if you've got access to a buffing system, you can buff the outside of these small pieces just as well, and you don't need the Triple E. It does work especially good, though, I'd say, on the inside of goblets and small boxes that you can't really get to with a buffer. And even though it seems kind of pricey, a jar will last a long time. I want to give a special shout out to Cliff Hartley, who twice noticed a psychedelic shake on my videos and brought it to my attention in time for me to be able to go back and correct it. And it turns out that I reacted to YouTube's suggestion that they could stabilize the image, because they perceived that a couple of videos, and he spotted it twice, had a camera shake. And I said, okay, fix it, and they fixed it automatically. Turns out I didn't have camera shake. They were confusing the motion of my hands and the turning object and perceived it as camera shake. So because of that false positive, they really screwed up that image. And I was able to go back and take that fix off, and to prevent more of y'all from getting seasick. So thank you for that, Cliff, keeping me straight. String Manipulator offered up an alternative to Transtent dye, and he mentioned Fibbling's leather dye, and I've heard that from other people that it is a good solution for dyeing, and it's readily available in a lot of different places, including around here. You can get it at Tandy Leather Company. It is a little more expensive than trans tent because it doesn't go as far. But if you got a small project, I'd say certainly give Fibbling's dye a try. Another thing I've used on small finials trying to ebonize them is some India ink, and that tends to work very well. But trans tent dye is cheaper. Don Bell asks if I plan on making a set of plans available for this chess set. No, Don, I don't draw very well. I don't use a CAD/CAM program, and I've tried, but have been unsuccessful in mastering SketchUp. So I'm not going to put together some plans. But I would suggest your best technique, as I mentioned in the video, is just do some research and find a set of plans you like, and then scale them up or down to the dimensions that you like best. And I'm going to show you a couple of techniques for some of y'all that may not use the computer much for researching ideas for wood turning or images, and that's Google Images and Pinterest. So go to Google Images, images.google.com, and then type in a search term, and let's say acorn clip art. And there's some various clip art. And maybe we like this one. Let's keep scrolling. Maybe we like this one. And we can right click on it and save that image to the appropriate folder that we've got set up for our project. Another option is to use Pinterest. Pinterest is a great little place for storing images and doing research as well. First, just if you don't have an account, go to www.pinterest.com, type in your email address, and then add a password and sign up. In my case, I'm going to log in because I already have one. I'll just give you some idea what this is going to look like. And we can see that I've created several different boards to store things: wood turning ideas, wood animals, patterns for wood turning, Zentangle. And my recent project on chessmen, this is when I was doing research on pictures and of images I liked. I just put it on there. Once you find an image, and you can search for that image, similar to Google, put in the search term. And then once the image comes up, for example, you can take that image and you can pin it to a board that you create, or you can right click it and you can save that. Let's go ahead and bring that image up. You can bring that image up and then you can save that image similar to a Google image. Think of Pinterest as a bulletin board where you're just sticking a picture on the board with a pen, and then you can come back to it at any time and you can create multiple boards. I want to thank all of you viewers for the very positive comments that you provided to keep me going, and now I'm closing in on 6,000 subscribers, and I've got, in my wood turning videos have had over 500,000 views, so I'm very pleased with that, and I very much appreciate your support. If you're a subscriber not getting notifications of my new videos, here's what to do. Go to the upper left of the YouTube screen and do a left click. Click on subscriptions, and then go out to the gear button out to the right. We'll use Scot's video as an example. And make sure that this checkbox, send me all notifications for this channel, is checked. And then you'll get a notification every time I do a new video. And then, of course, save it. And now a word from my shop fairy.
My peepaw gave me this little bowl and I love it. If you like this video, click on the subscribe button. Subscribe.
Excellent.
I think I got it wrong.